Yeah, give Alabama a ton of credit. Thought they came out with a lot of enthusiasm. It's probably the hardest I've seen them play defensively on tape in a long time. They've always been a really good offensive team. They just beat us in every area. We chased them. We didn't guard them. And then just the fouls started to accumulate. K.J. Buffin got hurt. And then our depth is so thin on the front line, and that hurt us. So one of those games, the game never got in great rhythm. Obviously, I'll follow SEC protocol and do what I do every week is make a phone call to Mark Whitehead, make a phone call to Dan Leibowitz, send in all the clips, and then they respond to the clips, and that's all you can say. That's just the SEC protocol, and so we'll follow that first thing in the morning.
Kermit, you talk about that protocol. Can you go into a little more detail on what you guys do on a weekly basis with that?
Yeah, what you can do is we'll call Mark and have conversations with him. Call Dan, and because Dan's kind of over basketball. There's good things or concerns. So Dan's a great guy to bounce things off. And then we clip, just the plays. And then the plays are sent to the conference office, and then they review the plays. And then they give us their feedback, from there. And then I assume probably the clips get sent to the officials, and they have comments from there. And that's all I know how the process works, at least from us. And the conference office has been really good about getting back to us and responding to all the clips that we've sent in throughout the year.
How much feedback do you get? Is it a sentence or two, a couple paragraphs?
Yeah, it is. Well, sometimes, Mark and I'll have conversations. We'll visit and talk, and then he'll email it back. Nate, my video guy, sends everything, and then he responds, on every play that we send in. And he's been really good about that.
How many plays might you send in?
I don't know. I can't even remember now. It just depends on. We don't do it every week, but most weeks we do it.
Can you take us through the play where Brian got the technical?
Yeah, I don't. I can't even remember now. I guess they called a block on him or holding. I'm not real sure. And Brian reacted. I don't think he said. I know he didn't say anything derogatory or personal. I know that for sure. And so he was assessed the technical, which it was, and then not long after that, he threw me out.
So I was going to ask you had been pretty boisterous throughout the first part of the game.
Yep.
You did not appear to be all that animated at that point.
I wasn't. So I don't. Yeah, I don't. It kind of caught me by surprise, but that's what happened. So.
We're 49 fouls. I'm not trying to get you fined here.
Yeah, please don't. My wife will warn me. All right. Let's talk about Mary Ann winning the car. Okay, she went hit the putt. That was when I was watching in the second half. That's the best thing I saw in the second half was her make the putt and won the car. So, congratulations to Mary Ann. Okay.
49 fouls in 40 minutes, though. A game doesn't have a lot of flow. Nate got a technical as well.
You hate it for the fans. You hate it for the fans and the players. That you just want games to have rhythm. This is not negative toward officiating. I think everybody wants that. Everybody wants rhythm. And the game just never really got in rhythm. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Alabama. They were terrific tonight. They were terrific. So, it's just one of those games. But, we've been real competitive, especially at home. Had some great wins and great games. And tonight, it just got out of sorts. It's one of those things. And so I hate it. I hate it for our fans mostly.
Aside from the fouls, Kermit, did you feel like you guys reverted in guarding the paint a little bit? Y'all played so well defensively of late.
Yeah, that's one thing. Alabama's just, get a lot of notoriety about shooting threes, but they got as many points in the paint as they did from the three. They just dominated us in every area. We couldn't keep Kyra Lewis. Early in the game, we have a scout, Herb Jones, who's probably one of the most respected guys by coaches in our league, playing the way he does in this day and time, which I commend Herb Jones, unbelievable. I'm a big fan. And but for, you back off him because he can't shoot it because of his hand. And Devontae twice went in the paint. It was like digging down, almost trying to double team him when he caught it, and they threw the ball right back out and he made 2 threes. I mean, it's just like we reverted back to things that are so fundamentally unsound, things we've made a lot of progress making. So, yeah, and in the second half, we lost all kind of concepts of how we're going to try to guard.
How badly is KJ hurt?
I don't know. He's had some growing abdominal issues at Missouri, and then said it was his back. And I saw him in pain. And I'm telling you, if there's a cat that can play, KJ can play. And he just was a ton of pain. I think he fell right on his spot. And I think everything structurally is fine, but he just a back pain that he just couldn't. He just goes out his can't. He tried to get loose, and he just couldn't go. And then it was just one of those things that just happened.
Is he in the locker room during the second half?
I think he was in the training room. I didn't see him. I didn't go in the training room, but then I noticed I was paying attention that he wasn't on the bench. So I'm sure he was in the training room getting treatment.
What do you do, Kermit, when you're ejected? What do you go smell and watch? What do you do during that time?
Well, it's my third Division I game I've been ejected. One at Idaho, one at Middle. I just went back in a little better accommodations here than it is at Middle, because you've got TVs and cable and you get to watch the game. I got ejected one time in Louisville, and second year we're playing we're playing Coach Patino's team in old Freedom Hall, and they threw me out. I don't know why I got thrown out that game. I've deserved to get thrown out some games, and I got thrown out, and I went and told Rick, he's in his huddle, he didn't know I got thrown out. I said, Rick, I'm sorry, I did not want to get thrown out of the Billy Minority Classic. And so I went in this old dressing room in Freedom Hall and no TV. And so finally I started walking around the corridor, and our team was playing their tail off. I mean, we're right there with Louisville, in the second half. They were a little bit better after I got thrown out. And so I was trying to watch it, and the guy was in a box, and he said, that's the guy who got thrown out of the game. He says, Coach, you going to come in and sit in the box and watch the last 5 minutes? I said, yeah. So, in Kentucky, he offered me a bourbon, and I said, no, I better not have a bourbon right now watching the team play. But, so that was a little better accommodations there. And then, but today, I just watched it, and, it was hard to watch, but it was one of those things. So I gave you a Louisville story, so that's good, right? That and Mary Ann. Thanks, guys.